The first convention used in our documentary is Vox Pops. Vox Pops are good as they allow us to give a public opinion into beauty treatments and is a good way of introducing the documentary. We can see how a rule of thirds have been used in the interviews, how only 1/3 of the screen is being utilised, a typical convention of Vox Pops. The title sequence was another convention that we used. We wanted to be creative, so we came up with the idea of lots of people applying makeup to a model and then added the graphics of Face Off. We then began the documentary with a variety of cutaways, which all have connotations with hair and beauty and represent the theme of the documentary, and allowed the Voice of God narration to introduce the documentary. The Voice of God narration also allows us to build up to the first interview in the documentary. In this interview we can see how the interviewee is situated on 1/3 of the screen, employing the convention of rule of thirds, where that part of the screen is seen to be the most visually interesting part, and that's where the interviewee is situated. We can also see how that has just gone off the screen, but there is also graphics employed in telling the people watching who the interviewee is and why they are relevant to the interview. We can also see in both interviews how relevant cutaways are used like this, where the interviewee is talking about a specific beauty treatment and then that treatment is also shown on screen. Different elements of mise-en-scène have also been incorporated. You can see the lighting in this interview is particularly bright, and also in the background of this interview there is a collage of different beauty treatments which also create connotations with beauty and is relevant to the interview. We also have relevant cutaways yet again with the person in the interview speaking about certain treatment. Here we can see how cutaways have been used to create a bridge between different interviews and gives us the documentary time for the narration. The cutaways and narration used have allowed us to change the topic in the documentary and focus more on professional beauticians and salons. We can see how that cutaways are still being used and the rule of thirds is still employed, but we've moved on to more professional people, as you can see with the graphics at the bottom of the screen. We can see how that the elements of mise-en-scène are slightly more specific in these interviews, as in this one we're in the beautician's shop with a mirror in the background and also different products. Here we can see how that we've also used archive footage in our documentary. This is an archive footage of somebody getting Botoxed, where the interviewee is also speaking about something like that. The reason we got archive footage for this is because it was very hard to film it ourselves and allows us to give the people watching a more visually interesting shot. As the documentary progressed, we have also referred back to the original interviews and we've still used different cutaways, but the graphics are no longer needed at the bottom of the screen as they had also already been portrayed earlier on in the documentary. Also, that is also relevant for this interview. We can see how that the interviewee is talking about specific beauty treatments once more, but is now talking about a different subject, as we have led on to that through the salon owners. We can also see how that the male beauty is also introduced here, using cutaways of different males applying beauty treatments. We can also see how that this cutaway is also another male and leads into an interview with a male beauty enthusiast. Elements of mise-en-scène have been employed here with the mirrors in the background, and you can also see how relevant cutaways have been used of the specific person in the interview applying different beauty treatments. We've also referred more archive footage, and we can see how that the interviewee in this interview is situated on the rule of thirds again with the graphics present. This leads on from the previous interview we were saying, giving an element of continuity within the documentary. We've also employed the professional owner's views on male beauty and given a more professional outlook on the topic. We also got our interviewees' opinions on male beauty treatment and used a range of cutaways in order to demonstrate a range of different ages involved in the different treatments and varieties used.